Hello, 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 hello. May I have your attention, please? Hello, everyone. First, I would like to welcome you all to the final round of Case Conundrum, a part of exCEEd 2023. exCEEd. It is a very prestigious national event hosted by the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, Shahjalan University of Science and Technology. And Case Conundrum is a part of exCEEd 2023 among the 7 other events. Case Conundrum 2023 started its first round from 15 February with total participants of 79 teams. Later, through two consecutive selection procedure, we have obtained our 5 finalists, who will present today on the stage on their given case, economy versus environmental pollutions. Now, I will request our honorable judges to have their respective seats. Sir, ma'am, if you please. Thank you, judges. Dear audience, as our honorable judges, we have among us, from my left corner, Professor Dr. Muntaha Rakib, Department of Economics, Shahjalan University of Science and Technology. Then Professor Dr. Nasima Begum, Department of Industrial Production Engineering, Shahjalan University of Science and Technology. Then we have Professor Dr. Chaudhuri Abul Anam Rashid, Department of Industrial and Production Engineering, Shahjalan University of Science and Technology. And we have Engineer Harun Rashid, Contract Specialist, Bangladesh Army, Podda Bridge Rail Link Project. So without further ado, let's tag into our today's event. Honorable judges, and dear finalists, and all are you listening, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to you all. This is your host, Abdullah Al Noman, a student of Civil and Environmental Engineering SUST. Welcome you all for the final round of exCEEd Case Conundrum 2023. Before going for our presentation session, I will remind you some of the instructions. Each team will get strictly 7 minutes to deliver their presentation. They will hear a warning bell after 6 minutes, and also a final bell after 7 minutes from me. A question answer session of 2 to 3 minutes will be conducted after each presentation. Any member of team members can present their slides. Mixed language during presentation will not be appreciated. Taking more than allocated time will be marked as penalty. And finally, decisions of the judges panel will be the final. Now, I will borrow a few minutes from all of you to prepare our first presentation slide. Dear audience, we are all set. Let's call upon our today's first team, CEEd Aggregate, to come on stage and deliver their presentation. Please.
Hello. Okay. CEEd Aggregates, your time starts now.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Raisa Sharmin Murtaza from the team CEEd Aggregates, and the case conundrum that we'll be analyzing today is challenge to reduce the environmental pollution due to industrialization while maintaining economic stability. So, economic growth promotes pollution. And since the pollutant factors are variable, we have yet to establish a direct relationship between the economic growth and the pollution that it causes. So the goal of the case conundrum that we'll be presenting today is to reduce the pollution level caused by industrialization and economic development without stunting the economic progress. So pollution is a negative externality, and this causes market failure because a product's equilibrium price does not accurately reflect the true cost and benefits of that product. So in this case, if we look at the supply-demand graph of a farm, in this case, we are only considering the private cost of the farm. That is, we are not considering the social cost that the farm causes. That is, the cost of the environmental pollution that they are causing because of their work and the products they are producing. In this case, the equilibrium price is E, and if we look at the next graph, in which we consider the social cost supply curve, we see that the supply curve moves towards the left. As a result, our equilibrium price has increased, while the supply has decreased, and also the quantity demanded has decreased. So in short, if we explain this graph, when we internalize the externality, which in this case is the pollution that is caused by the farms, these are the effects that we get. Lower supply, higher equilibrium price, lower quantity demanded, and lower pollution. And to lower this pollution, we have came up with a solution, pollution abatement. This can be done in two ways: pollution tax and cap trade system. So next we will be looking into a brief overview. For the pollution tax system, in the system the government basically sets up taxes to control the pollution that is caused by the industries. So if any industry exceeds their limit, then they will be taxed accordingly. In this way, the pollution that is caused by industrialization can be heavily controlled. But one of the main disadvantages, which is the principal disadvantage, is that this pollution tax increases the cost of businesses and again reduces the level of investment. And it ultimately can hamper the economic growth. And now we will be looking at the second system, which is the cap and trade system. In this system, the government basically sets up a pollution level, and then they provides permits that the farms can sell, exchange, and trade among themselves. In this way, the government creates a market for pollution and limits the available pollution, allowing the market to allocate emission reduction efficiently. We can look at this graph. On the left, the farm has reduced emissions, and on the right, the farm has excess emissions. So by the method of cap and trade, the one with the reduced emissions can sell their permits to the one with the excess emissions. And in this way, both the pollution level can be controlled, and again, it will create a sense of competitiveness between the farms, which will indirectly improve the economic market and help promote economic growth. So here is a brief difference between the two systems. Pollution tax is not self-adjusting. That means it needs to be monitored by the government or a respective authority, whereas the cap and trade system is self-adjusting, and the prices of the permits will be predetermined by the supply balance. And in the pollution tax system, the tax revenue is earned by the government, whereas on the latter system, the more efficient farm, that is the farm that has less pollution emissions, they will earn their revenue by selling their permits to the farms with higher pollution emissions. And pollution tax is a price decision, that is the government decides the tax rates, whereas cap and trade system is a quantity decision, that is the government decides the permits allowance number. So in case of pollution tax system, it is quite hard to determine the tax rate, as there is yet to be established a direct and accurate relationship between pollution and economic growth. But with the cap and trade system, it is considered to be more efficient, since it is already determined by the supply and demand that is existing in the market. So this is a brief overview of the two systems to come to battle pollution that is caused by economic development. The next part, the structured way, will be explained by my team member, Itmam.
So thank you for giving me opportunity. Here I describe how in a structured way we will execute this plan. We know that most of the plans will, most of the laws and rules come from National Parliament. From National Parliament, these rules and regulations will go to the Department of Environment. Then Department of Environment will send them to Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Finance and Department of Environment will combinedly suggest some taxes and regulations. These taxes and regulations will then send to administration group, and the responsibility of administration group is to ensure that industry will execute